Hello, my name is Andeea, and I'm your host. Welcome to the Quantum Recovery Podcast. I'm a licensed counselor and quantum health coach, and this podcast is all about exploring the new quantum health paradigm. My mission is to simplify the quantum biology practices and principles so you can thrive in your recovery. I'm so happy you're here, and remember, this is for educational purposes only. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Quantum Recovery Podcast. I know it has been a little bit since I've been on here, been doing a lot of traveling, and I just have a lot of things going on. One of the really exciting things that I have going on is something I mentioned last time. So I had said I had something to share with you all, and I'm delivering on that promise today. So whether you are watching this because it just came out this week, or if you're watching it in the future, this it will all be relevant for you in the present, if in the present time, whether that be now or in the future. So what I am talking about today is this patch that I've been wearing. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see me holding up my hand. I'm pointing at a little patch, and this patch is about the size of a quarter. It's a phototherapy patch. So most of you know I'm board certified in applied quantum biology. And the way that I got introduced to this patch, I had Dr. Rachel Maurice on our Quantum Healthy podcast, the other podcast that I co-host with Laura Kissman. And she was on that podcast sharing her story. And at the end of the podcast, she shared about her mom and how this phototherapy patch had helped her mom with congestive heart failure and it helped her lower her thyroid medication. Well, when we got off that call, I was excited and almost in tears because I wanted to get that patch on my mom because it had done such miraculous healing with her mom. I was like, well, it would help my mom with her discomfort from her polymyalgia. So I went ahead and started wearing the patch alongside my mom. I've been wearing it for 8 months now. Now, I am a person in long-term recovery, so a few weeks ago, I am now 17 years in recovery. And I'm mentioning this part because I am in long-term recovery, but I did not start feeling good until I started changing my light environment. And I've shared that with you all on this podcast. But since wearing this patch, it has pushed my healthy body into another realm. And the reason I want to share this to you all, my audience, is because I know most of you are in recovery from addiction. And whether you're in early recovery or long-term recovery, this patch will help you. And I'm going to get into the reasons why it will help you. We do a lot of damage to our mitochondria when we are in our active addiction. And this patch is backed by science to improve mitochondrial biogenesis. What does that mean? That means it renews your mitochondria. This is a very, very, very good news. This is also a patch that stimulates your body's own natural healing through stem cells. So I am going to talk about that today. If you're listening to this, I am showing slides as I talk today. So I want to just mention that in case you want to hop over to YouTube and watch it instead over there. But otherwise, I'm going to do my best to describe everything that is on the slides. So this patch is all about activating your body's own innate healing power. Now, this patch is like, just disclaimer, this patch is not going to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or medical condition whatsoever. What it does, it triggers your own body's natural healing. Your own body is going to start healing on its own, and I'm going to explain to you why. Now, this is a very loved patch by athletes, doctors, veterinarians, health professionals, in people and by people in over 100 countries. So this is a worldwide thing, and it has not this specific patch I'm talking about, which is called the X39 patch. has only been around about 5 years, or yeah, 5 years now. And the company itself is 20 years old. So, as I talk to you today about this, I just want you to start to think about your body. What are you going through? Whether you're in early recovery, long-term recovery, or even if you're not in recovery, we all have aches, discomforts, different pains that we're going through. And as we get older, we don't bounce back as fast as we used to. We have lower energy. We struggle staying active. We feel like our body's not keeping up with us. Well, there's a reason for all this. We lack focus. There's so many of us running around with a co-occurring ADHD diagnosis these days, myself included. I'm going to talk about that and what's happened with me since wearing this patch for 8 months now. Because imagine if you could feel more energized, if your post-acute withdrawal symptoms could be alleviated just a little bit faster through your body's own natural healing process. Now, if you're older, maybe you want to play with your kids. Maybe you want to play with your grandkids without feeling so tired. Maybe you want to be able to crawl on the floor and not worry about your knees hurting. Maybe you want to think more clearly and just regain mental clarity and focus and be more productive in general. These are things that help our life be more rewarding, more elevated. It takes it to a different level when we don't have to worry about certain things. Stress is such a huge thing. We all want to feel calmer and in a more balanced body. We know that in order to heal, because I've talked about this on here before. In order to heal, we need to activate that parasympathetic nervous system. We need to be in a calm body. Our body needs to be in a certain state we have to set it up to be in a certain state to heal. And our modern living world, under the light environment we're in, it does not set us up for that. It sets us up for failure because we're under this artificial environment. We've talked about that before on this podcast. So keep these things in mind and imagine if you could feel exactly how you want to feel without having to worry about anything else. And what I want to ask you is if you knew about stem cells. I certainly did not know about stem cells. And when I was getting taught in my undergrad, I remember learning about stem cells and associating them with babies. And the doctors that I've seen in this field have told me that they don't learn about stem cells in their schooling. Like, so this is something that is a very innovative technology, this specific patch, but stem cell research has been around for a while now, and we do know that by the age of 30, healthy stem cells have decreased in your body and went dormant, 60% of them. And by the age of 60, 90% of our stem cells are dormant. And the fewer stem cells that we have, the faster that we're aging, the slower we're healing. And we want the exact opposite of that. Now, this patch is a type of photobiomodulation. I've talked about that in this podcast. Light therapy is not new. There is over 10,000 studies now in PubMed. You can look up photobiomodulation on light and how our whole biology is driven by light. Now, what if you could have something this non-invasive, non-transdermal sitting on your skin working for you every single day, promoting tissue repair, promoting wound healing, reducing inflammation in the body. When we're in active use, we have all sorts of inflammation because when we go into early recovery and in long-term recovery, all different things start to pop up. We get all sorts of little aches and pains and discomforts, some of them being from our active use, some of them maybe just that were numbed out and we just didn't feel them because we were numbing with a substance, so we weren't feeling what's really going on with us. But so many people have underlying health conditions, a lot of underlying health conditions, serious things going on. And mitochondrial damage, remember, is something that we've talked about on this podcast before, and I want to stick with this, but just keep those things in mind as I am sharing this, because you all have learned some of these things from me already, and it ties into what I'm talking about now. And this little patch is miraculous. And the power of the patch is really in this peptide called GHKCU copper peptide. This is a 3 amino acid peptide. It is the holy grail of age reversal. Dr. Lauren Picard discovered this, I believe it was in 73, and we have over 50 years of research around this specific peptide. Okay. It activates your own stem cells. So that's why the patch itself isn't claiming to do this. It's actually your own body is claiming to do this. Now, the power of this X39 patch is you can see in the photo and on my hand. And if you're listening to this, it's just a small little clear patch with a little pad in the middle, and that's the organic lattice, crystal lattice of that the patch is actually working. So this patch is non-transdermal. That crystal lattice is reflecting your body's own infrared light. So we also learned when I talked to you about mitochondria that mitochondria make light. That light is being reflected off the patch back into the body, therefore stimulating the GHKCU peptide, and that activates your stem cells. Now, non-transdermal, what exactly does that mean? That means nothing's going into the skin. We typically think of patches as transdermal because we have the nicotine patch, an estrogen patch, things like that, where there's a medicine that's going into the skin transdermally. Well, this is a non-transdermal patch. There's nothing going into the skin. So if you use some medications or what have you, this is not going to interact with that because it's just your own body's light being reflected off this patch, and that is how it's working. Now, the benefits of this patch. It works systemically all over the body. So you put it wherever you put it, you can put it right on your discomfort. You but you're going to get 2100% stem cell proliferation. So there are many, many testimonies. One of the ones I'm thinking about right now is this gentleman went to another country to get stem cell therapy. So if you don't know, stem cell therapy is very invasive. You have to inject it it's localized. So let's say I'm going to inject it into my knee. The stem cells are going to go into my knee. They might be synthetic or they might be my own. If they're my own, that costs even more money. And we're talking tens of thousands of dollars for the treatments. And they only work 50% of the time. That's another thing. It's not guaranteed to work. And so this gentleman had went to another country to get the stem cell treatment, and he had went in for a consult. He went back to his home. He ended up starting the patch. And when he went back to actually have the procedure done, they were like, what have you been doing? We can't do the procedure. Your stem cells are at 95%. So this is, this is can be tested. Now, it's not every day you and I are going into the doctor getting our stem cell or our blood work or our blood drawn, right? So, you know, we don't typically know that, but there are people that are really sick, that are in the hospital, that do get their tests done on a regular basis, and they are shocking their doctors with what they are seeing because of this patch. Now, it reduces inflammation and pain in the body. So with my mom, she had pain in her legs so bad that she was hunched over like a 100-year-old woman when she was walking. And if y'all don't know, my mom has a shop and she's very active. So it was heartbreaking to see her that way. And she wasn't able to do everything that she could to maintain her shop. And she was on 3 pills of prednisone a day. Now, since then, my mom now has is walking completely normal. She has no pain in her legs, and she's completely off her medication. So that is the power of this patch. It improves strength and stamina, energy levels, and also like you don't have to have a quote unquote something wrong with you or quote unquote disease to wear this patch. In fact, I didn't have anything going on with me, and it pushed my health into a whole nother level. This is why it's so popular with the athletes. And I have a slide to show you a photo of just some of the famous people that are like famous athletes that wear this patch. But it's going to improve muscle and bone density. It's going to improve mental clarity and reduce stress. That's one of the things I definitely saw with myself. I do feel like my ADHD symptoms, if they're even there anymore, I don't struggle with it anymore. I don't get so squirrely anymore. I didn't realize I had brain fog until it actually lifted. The stress reduction is huge for people because that actually allows us to sleep better. I thought I was sleeping better with all the light practices that I was doing. This has pushed my sleep into a whole new realm. I did not know I could sleep this good. It balances hormones and eases anxiety. Speaking of balancing hormones, for me, I no longer have period cramps. I had debilitating period cramps, and it improves hair growth. My hair also, I was able to actually get a haircut because I used to be so afraid to get my hair trimmed because my hair did not grow, and my hair's been growing so fast. And the hairdresser also said something to me like, "You realize your hair feels completely different on the top of your head than it does at the bottom." And I didn't actually realize that. I mean, my hair was definitely growing and I could tell something was happening, but I see myself every day. So that's something like I didn't actually notice until someone pointed it out. Skin appearance is better. People have before and after photos of their faces, and you can tell like the inflammation is gone, the puffiness is gone, the wrinkles are literally smoothing out because this is not anti-aging. This is a quote from David Schmidt, the inventor. This is not anti-aging. This is age reversal. That is what's happening here. It promotes cellular repair and wound healing, improves sleep quality, which I mentioned already. The long-term benefits here are going to be in the first few days, and this isn't something that you're going to feel. You're going to have over 4,000 genes begin to reset. Literally it's actually 4,192 to be exact. And if you know anything about resveratrol, so dare I say, when the people say, "Oh, it's okay to drink a glass of wine a day." Now, for those of us in addiction, we know that we can't do that. But for the normies out there, you know, the reason they say that is because there is something in it called resveratrol. And since they have discovered resveratrol, they have taken it and put it into supplement form. So it's a supplement you can take. You don't need to drink a glass of red wine to get it. But that resveratrol, all the hype around it is because it reverses a whole two genes. Two. Two. You heard that right. And this patch, it reverses 4,192 genes. Within the first 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. I definitely felt that. That was that brain fog lifting. Just one day, I was very mindful that I was thinking way clearer than I had in the past. I was actually sitting at this very desk when I noticed that. And within 3 months, collagen is increased, and within 6 months, the heart starts to reverse in age. And there's that quote from David Schmidt, the inventor: "It's not anti-aging, it's age reversal." Now, how do you wear this patch? So you wear it for 12 hours a day. You put it on in the morning, you take it off at night. Now, you do want to wear it during the day because it gives you energy. You can actually remove it. There is more use in the one patch. It's about a 16 to 18 hours of life in the one patch. So you can remove it after you're done wearing it and put it on your pet or a plant. Anything that reflects infrared light or that has infrared light, so anything living, it's going to work on it. And then you put a new patch on and then you repeat that. You want to make sure you drink plenty of water. We've went over water. You can also listen to our beautiful guests share about the topic of water on our Quantum Healthy podcast. But you want to make sure you're drinking plenty of good filtered water with electrolytes. And also, you want to make sure that you have some kind of copper in your diet. So, the most popular, of course, is a very small piece of dark chocolate, but organ meat, seafood, uh, sunflower seeds, cashews, avocado, these are all things with copper in it. And also, you can tune into the episode with Morley Robbins on the Quantum Healthy podcast if you want to learn more about that. But the reason is because that copper peptide, you want to give your body that information so it has it to use to trigger the stem cells. Basically, what we're doing when we're drinking enough water and we have copper every day, we are fast forwarding the patch on it's on the results. You will get results quicker is what I'm trying to say. Now you can see in the photo here, this woman has her patch on her C7. That's right behind the neck. That is the placement where the patch was in all the research because there are over 80 studies on this patch. So that's to get measurable results, they put it in the same spot. It's either that spot or two finger widths below the belly button is another place that you can wear the patch. And also, and this is per David, the inventor, he says you can put the patch anywhere on the body, anywhere where it hurts. That's just where they used it for the research studies. And these two places on the body are high energy areas in the body, which is one of the reasons why those two acupressure points were chosen. Now, what to expect. So you can just take note of specific issues that you have. And as the weeks and months go on, and there is a health tracker, you can track this stuff because you can write out your wish list of what do you want to have happen. Now, you're not always going to get what you want. And for instance, there is somebody who had started the patches and he really wanted his migraines to go away. And within 2 months, he was not wearing eyeglasses anymore. His eyesight has corrected. My eyesight is actually reversing as well. This is the second pair of glasses that I've had in the last 6 months. But for him, his glasses, he completely did not need them anymore, and the migraine relief came later. So your body's going to prioritize, like your body's super smart. You might have a problem with your liver or your kidney or something, and the patch might be working on that area that your stem cells in your body might go there first to heal that first because that's in as per your body, that's top priority. You don't know what your body is saying is top priority. And so what I'm saying is you don't always feel this thing working, but it is working. It's just like when we take a supplement, right? We don't always feel that supplement working, but we take it because we know it's good for us. We know it's nourishing our body. Now, the other thing that I wanted to say was some people do feel something right away. Some people are what we call one patch wonders. In fact, I am a one patch wonder because it just so happened that I quit caffeine on the first day I started the patches. It wasn't planned that way. It just happened that way. Well, I never had any caffeine withdrawal. I was waiting for it to come and it never came. No caffeine withdrawal. I couldn't believe it. And so I was actually feeling the absence of something. And it was those headaches and the tiredness and my energy, y'all, it's through the roof. I'm like a little puppy dog. I work out every day with ease. It's not something that I dread. And in my 40s, honestly, in my 40s, I have struggled with working out. It is not something that I was looking forward to doing. And movement was, even though that's something that we definitely need to do, like it it was a struggle. It was a huge struggle for me. But so everyone's different and the patches go to work where they're needed. Internal might happen first. And if you get tired so my husband actually got really tired when he started the patches. The first week he was very tired. That is actually a sign that your body that it's working. You want to get extra sleep, take care of yourself, and also practicing deep breathing can really help as well. And one of the things I wanted to just say too about water. Now, this is a light therapy patch. The way light travels through the body is through the water network. And we know that's through our fascia. So, you know how DNA is a double helix? Well, collagen is the most abundant protein in the body. And that is what our fascia is made out of. Well, collagen is a triple helix. And that triple helix has a water nanotubule in the middle of it. That, my friends, is how light travels through the body. It's through that water network. So it's very important to stay hydrated. And I forgot to mention that, so I wanted to just say that. Now, what you're looking at on the screen, if you're watching this on YouTube, you are looking at a 77-year-old woman who placed the X39 patch on the back of her neck. Now, before she had the patch on, she had a lot of inflammation in the brain, which you can tell here in the topography map. You can see all that redness is a lack of brain coherence and it's inflammation. At 3 weeks of wearing the X39 patch, she has no more inflammation and she has improved brain coherence. By the coloring of this, we can see a lot of that dark blue. It's starting to come back online. And that lighter blue, that is all signs of no more inflammation and coherence. And now we have even better brain coherence at session 3. You can see there's a lot of light blue and the more green and yellow. That is all indicative of brain coherence. And she had a complete turnaround, and that's at only 6 weeks of wearing the X39. So this is measurable. This is proven. This is not something, this is also patented, which I'm going to get to as well. So this is not something that is, placebo. Now on the screen, you can see someone here with the hair thickness. Many, many amazing results with the hair. I already shared my own testimony on my hair. So this is someone who was literally, she had baldness at the top here of her hair. And then, you can see here, this is about, what is that, 4 months later, the middle photo. And then 3 months after that, we can see, or 2 months rather after that, you can see she's that bald spot is going away. And then on the right, you can see a woman with scoliosis. So this is a curvature of the spine. Now remember, this company's been around over 20 years. They had many patches before they created the stem cell patch, which I'm going to tell you the story about in a minute. So those other patches that you see on her lower spine, that's called ice wave. Those are pain patches. Those take away pain in the moment. But the X39 takes away discomfort and pain long term. So you can see how she is standing here way more straight, and her shoulders are more even as well. Here on the left now you can see a woman with vitiligo. So she's got a very lots of, there's no melanin in it where you see that lighter skin. And then on the right you can see she has a nice pinkish even tone to her skin. And then on the right side you can see a before the patch. So this is a gentleman with a knee surgery. My goodness, this looks like an 8-inch scar. It's very significant. And then you can see on the right, after only 2 days of wearing the patch, there's parts of this that's completely closed. Like the doctor, this is why doctors and surgeons give this patch post surgery because of the amazing wound healing effects that it has. Here you can see a photo of I cannot remember the condition here, but she's got very swollen ankles. And after using the X39 for just a couple days, and also there's another story about a swollen ankle with my co-host Laura on the other podcast. She had broken her tibial plateau and had a swollen ankle. The doctors told her it was just something she's going to have to deal with, and it was probably a damaged lymph node. Well, she had gotten her patches shortly after she got that diagnosis from the doctor, which wasn't good news. And the next morning, her swollen ankle was gone, similar to this woman in this photo. Now, this is just a photo of a lot of different celebrities that wear the patch. So you have David Beckham up in the upper right-hand corner. You have Olympic swimmers, Olympic or professional surfing team. RFK is in the middle there. Serena Williams, Mike Tyson, and I cannot remember the name of this tennis player, but many famous athletes wear this patch. Now, the inventor, David Schmidt, he is one of the reasons I love this company. And also, I did not mention this at the beginning. I am a brand partner of this company. This company has been around for over 20 years. It's in 80 plus countries, and he actually, this slide is outdated now. There are over 200 patents now and over 80 clinical trials on this patch. Now, this company, David did 10 years of research on stem cells. And then in late 2019, 2020 was when the X39 patch came out. That patch alone took the company from a $20 million company to a $600 million company in only 3 years' time. That's a 3,000% increase. So for those of you who are business people, that is a huge out of this world number. They've won the Bravo Award the last 2 years in a row for the fastest growing company. And I believe we're the number 22 fastest growing company in the world. So this is a little story about David Schmidt. So he is a genius inventor, scientist, and he's founder and CEO of LifeWave. And he was working with the Navy SEALs and they asked him to, he was doing consult work with them and he was asked, or contract work, he was asked to create something that was non-stimulatory because they didn't want the people getting addicted to anything, but they needed something to keep them awake because they would be up for 36 to 48 hours. So he did that. He invented a patch for them to use. Well, then 9/11 happened and they if you weren't in weapons, they weren't interested. So he was no longer working with them, but through his connections, he actually put this that patch on the swim team at Stanford. And 8 out of the 6 women beat their own records within 3 weeks. Now, from there, they put it on the Olympic swim team. And that actually, they did the same thing happened. They started beating their records in record timing. And they that called in the dope team. They thought they were on something. And of course, with this patch, it's non-transdermal. Nothing's going in the skin. So they were allowed to wear the patch. So this is, they didn't find anything, obviously. They weren't doping. Now, again, this is a 22-page patent, but it all summed up right here in this little statement. It says embodiments as results of elevating copper peptide, including activation of stem cells, energy improvements, and elevation of antioxidants. All of the patents, all of the studies, if you want to do your own research, I welcome you to do that, and testimonies from people who have gone through all sorts of different things. Because remember, this works on everyone. Everybody has dormant stem cells. So it works on whatever you have in your body that's inflamed. So you can go to www.thisisitinfo.com. I'll also put a link in the show notes and you can connect to my website for more information. You could also connect with me if you want to learn more. Because one of the reasons I'm actually also talking about this is because I was one of those people who had lost everything from my addiction. I had nothing left. I I know that there are people that in early recovery, you come into early recovery, you've sold everything, you have nothing. You may not even have a job. You may like people struggle financially, is what I'm saying. And the results from this patch go way beyond just health. This patch allows people to have health freedom, and it also allows people to have financial freedom. And I am starting to see that in my own life. And I wanted to share this as an opportunity. If to wear the patch, you do not have to be a brand partner with the company. But even if your goal is just to get the patches for free, it's very, very simple to do without much effort. And I would help you and walk you right through that. So this increases confidence just about ourselves in general, right? Like it's increased my confidence. I just feel good about my body, about my mind. Every single day I wake up with more energy. I'm able to enjoy my quality of life has increased significantly. And just for that alone, even if it didn't do any, like my eyesight and my period cramps and my energy levels, my brain fog, even with all those things aside, like this helped give my mom her life back. My mom was not able to function on a daily basis. That was heartbreaking to see. And I know there are so many of us that have people in our mind right now as I talk about this. You have people in your mind right now, I know you do, that could use and benefit from this. You could be the person in their life. They need to hear this from you. They need you to share this with them. They need you to send this podcast to them. Now, this is health from the inside out. So it's not just about looking better and feeling vibrant, but it's also financial freedom and living life with ease and just not having to stress about money. Like, did you know that 85% of all Americans hate what they do? That is so sad. 60% of us are living paycheck to paycheck, and 56% of us don't even have $1,000 for an emergency. It does not have to be like this. Now, again, I already told you a little bit about the company. I actually went over every single one of these things and that it's 20-year-old company. There was a 3,000% increase since 2019. We are projected to be $1 billion company. And this is something that's so exciting to be part of. Like this, the technology and the things coming out, like it's mind blowing. It is mind blowing. And I know that just me sharing about this patch alone is like almost, it sounds too good to be true. But it is the most innovative technology in photobiomodulation, and it is not a Me Too product. What does that mean? So, unlike a lot of people, they are competing with each other. Like, let's say it's skincare or supplements or whatever. This, there's no competition. It's what's called a blue ocean product. If you want to get a photobiomodulation patch, a phototherapy patch that does what I said today, all of this, all these things that stimulates your body's own innate ability to heal, this is the only patch that does that. There's absolutely no other patch that does it. It's the only stem cell patch out there. This is a non-invasive patch. So, what if you did not have to worry about where your next meal was coming from? What if you could go into the grocery store and just not worry about the coupons, the prices? You could just buy whatever you wanted. You could buy all of your food organic. You could go to the farmers market and support all your local farmers. Do all the things that we talk about. You could get all of the fun quantum gadgets out there, like whatever things that I've been talking about, the water filter system in your home so your family is drinking good, clean water. What are the things that you want in your life that you don't have? Did you sell your car for dope? Do you need a car? I think we all need a car. What if you did not have to worry about those things anymore? If you know some people that you love that could benefit from this patch, I am telling you, I do not say this lightly. This is literally health freedom, financial freedom, and time freedom. Now, there are different ways to get this patch. I know everyone is probably thinking, okay, lady, how much does it cost already? So there's three different ways that you can get the patch. One is being a retail customer. This patch costs $150 a month. The photo on the screen there, that's called a sleeve. It's like a little envelope. And inside that envelope, you get 30 patches. So it's 1 month supply. And no one typically does retail customer. Some people do. It's a very small amount of people do, but you can sign up as a preferred customer and get the wholesale pricing, which is $100 a month, $99.95. And you sign up for a monthly subscription and you get it for that amount of money. And there is also being a brand partner. Being a brand partner, you get the patches for that same amount of money. There is no obligation to sign anybody up ever. Like there's literally no catch. And you get the wholesale pricing and you also get the option to tell a friend about it and then you get paid money for that. And you get paid money every time their wholesale order comes in. I'm an affiliate of a lot of places. You all know that. I'm an affiliate of brands and I share with you about things that I'm not even an affiliate about. We all share about things we love. If you try a new restaurant, if you try a new salon, or you have a new hairstylist and you're sharing with your friends how you love that person. We share about things that we love all the time. In fact, my website literally has a whole section on it, and it's broken down into categories of things that I love that I always talk about. So you can learn from me. This patch is just another one of those things, but this is the only thing that has literally blown me away, blown my mind. I do not see healing like I have with any other thing. I do have one case study as well with someone who I coach, and she gave me permission to share this. She quit marijuana. And now, with marijuana, clinically, being a counselor and in the addiction field for almost 8 years, I see people have at least, at minimum, a month of anhedonia. Really, depression and anhedonia is really, really heavy in that first month. And she wore the X39 patch for the week. I had actually, she had messaged me how she was struggling, and when I got on a coaching call with her about a week or maybe a week and a half later, she had been wearing the patches, but I didn't know. I didn't know that she was yet. And when we hopped on the call, I was expecting her to share about her continued struggles with her post-acute withdrawal symptoms. That is not how she showed up, y'all. She had a huge smile on her face. She was excited. She had a bunch of good news to share with me. And she was not feeling any of the post-acute withdrawal that she had felt the initial couple days after she had quit. So this is, I know, like just with knowing about light therapy, knowing about how people recover, knowing about inflammation in the body, looking at applied or addiction through the lens of applied quantum biology, this patch helps with inflammation. Post-acute withdrawal symptoms is inflammation in the body. End of story. That's what it is. It's inflammation, and we have to wait for it to subside. And this will help people. The recommendation is to wear it for six, or not six. The recommendation for full stem cell activation is to wear it for 1 month for every decade you have been living. So I am 46. I gave it, I knew I was going to give it a good 6 months. They actually recommend a good 6 to 10 months, just depending on, your age or whatnot. In the research, people typically felt something after 98% of people felt something after 90 days. Like they felt the patch was doing something, that it was working for them. But for full stem cell activation, you want it to wear it for 1 month for every decade you've been living. And if you, people always ask, well, what if I stop wearing it? Well, if you stop wearing it, you're not going to reverse anything that you gained, but you will start aging like you were aging before. That's all. You'll just go back to, your energy will slightly lower because the patch does give energy, and it might not lower right away, but it'll gradually go back to wherever you were at before. I know that because I've heard just testimonies of people who have worn the patches for a couple years, and they're like, "Oh, I definitely felt a difference, and I wanted to continue wearing it," so they got back on it. But there when people wear it that long, like the most common things that I hear with long-term wear is not only the miracle that happens with their whatever condition they might have had, but when you wear it long term, like gray hair ends up going back to its normal color. People's don't need their reading glasses or their glasses anymore. My eyes, I already know my eyes are correcting. I've had to have two different pairs of glasses. And normally I only go into glasses like every year and a half, 2 years. I've had to go in twice in the last 6 months. There's different ways to be sign up as a brand partner, and that's what's being shown on the screen here. You get the patches at a discounted rate when you buy them in bulk. This is just a opportunity at the beginning for you to get the patches. Like if you have a family and the family is going to wear the patches, you're going to want to look at these patches. And I encourage you to reach out to me and book a call with me. It's free to book a call with me and ask me questions about this. This is something that I am so passionate about. I want to share this with the world, and this is part of me sharing it with the world, is sharing it with you all here. So if you know someone who could benefit from the patch, definitely send this episode to them. And I am very excited for you to hear from you all. I want to know your questions. I want to help you answer those. And if this is a right fit for you, which I believe is a right fit for any human walking this planet, because we're all living in a modern environment that is making us sick and our food is poisoned and all of that stuff. The bioaccumulation of the toxins that are in our environment is significant. We've talked about this stuff before. And so I look forward to hearing you from everyone. And I hope this was helpful for you. And yeah, that is it for tonight. Okay, everybody, drink water. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found value in this information. And if you did, please share it. Another way to support the podcast is to leave a 5-star review. If you want to connect, you can message me on Instagram or email me at ANDEEARAE@outlook.com. And remember, drink water.